Yeah, I guess a kind of final question, very recent, talking about these elections, as we're recording this, it's still not 100% Biden won, but it looks like it will be that way. Curious, obviously as a big investment background, heavily involved in markets, what's your feeling on how things will be impacted? What can you take out of the results?
My general take, I mean, I think Biden is going to win. I think Trump will, put up a lot of legal challenges. I think it'll probably take a month or two to figure it all out. But in the end, I'm guessing that Biden will become the president. I don't see him lasting long as the president. I just don't think that he'll have the stamina to be that guy. So then you got to think about, well, who steps in? That would be Kamala Harris would step in. She brings a whole different view, more of the new kind of Democratic Party view into the whole economics of the party and how things should work. And so that's certainly going to be interesting. Listen, no matter how you kind of look at it at the moment, I think there's going to be a ton of stimulus, which is going to continue to fuel the market, right? This market has been fueled by nothing but, money that shouldn't be injected into the markets to make it go higher. But that is what's been going on. So I can see the markets continuing to strengthen, to get to go higher, whether it is Biden or whether it's Trump, they're probably going to go higher. But overall, if I'm right, and if Biden doesn't last too long and Kamala comes in, that is not good for the market. And she will bring in a bunch of policies that eventually everybody will look at and say, whoa, this is just not business like. This is much more about wealth redistribution. So that's not good for a market. And you can't go ahead and write off all the $1 trillion worth of student loans. You just can't do all these things without having serious repercussions. You can't, she's made it clear she wants to ban fracking. So maybe Joe in the last, couple of weeks said he didn't want to ban it, but yet he did. But now he's saying he doesn't. What if she comes out and says, I'm going to ban fracking starting today. I'm your new president, and I've got AOC and a bunch of other people like this. No more gas cars, no more cows, like whatever. I'm being extreme, of course, but if that stuff starts to happen, the economy is it's not going to hold up well whatsoever, because the economics of those plans don't stand up, period. It will be, obviously, as it is with any transition, it's going to be an interesting time. I accept the results as they stand kind of today. Biden's going to win. And listen, I hope the guy does a great job. And I hope that whoever is the president, I support whoever the president is, whether it's Trump or Biden, whoever it is, get in there and do the best you can, do some great work. So, that's kind of the way I look at it. And I hope that, the next 4 years, I hope they're smooth and, America prospers, because when America prospers, the rest of the world seems to prosper as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. The one thing that I kind of wanted to mention on top of what you're saying, obviously a lot of people are scared, oh, Biden gets in and taxes this, taxes that. Now, one thing to mention is, of course, that it looks like the Republicans did gain seats. Even if they do end up losing the overall election, it looks like they did gain in number of seats. So those laws and those policy changes might be a lot harder to implement if you are Biden and the Democrats, which arguably is good for the markets. So you might get a bigger stimulus, and you might keep similar, or as most policies we could hope that obviously the Trump campaign brought in.
Yeah, totally, Jason. I'm with you on that 100%. I mean, listen, America's a divided place. You got half the people that like, kind of the Democratic Party and for what they stand for, and you got half the people that like the Republican Party and what they stand for. I mean, this has been an absolutely close race, and it just shows you how divided each party is. I mean, they don't like to work together, which really sucks. So in other words, one party absolutely hates the other party, and we've heard that. We've heard people say, because you are part of that party, I don't like you as an individual. which to me is just unbelievable. So instead of looking at the opposing party and saying, hey, I see that you may like taxes, to be raised by 10%. How about if we made it only 5%? And how about if, like coming to agreements on a thing is on ideas and principles is what this is supposed to be all about. But that's certainly not the case.
Yeah. No, well, I guess at least market wise, looks like a good couple years. I would say a minimum. You still have great fiscal policy in theory for markets. For of course, I guess growth. We can call it. You still, in theory, if Biden comes in, you're gonna have a bigger stimulus package. So
Right.
that's definitely good for markets. So there's a lot of at least good things in the short term, but we'll see what happens in the long term. Anything else about the election you wanted to talk about before we close things off?
No, I listen. It's been crazy. I mean, if I was to guess, it's going to continue to be crazy. If you thought people think Trump was crazy, well, I can tell you, I'm guessing, but I think the next 4 years, under whoever it is, whether it's Biden or Kamala or Pete Buttigieg or any of these guys, like it's going to be even crazier. One thing that I do think will come from this is that you'll probably see Trump Jr. Running for president in 2024. And that's what I see for the Republican Party. And that'll probably be the next big move for them. And man, I hope they don't start covering this stuff on the news already, where they've got countdown to 2024, 1,484 days away, and and they're talking about politics all day long. I just hope the news can get back to being news again. I mean, that's kind of an interesting topic to speak about too. Is all the media stuff and to watch guys like Jack Dorsey of Twitter get up in front of I can't remember if it was a Congress or Senate, but to get up, that was a Senate, I guess, a Senate hearing, and to watch him just to say, yeah, it's what we do, and we censor people, and oops, we made a mistake. And it's like all these media companies, they got to give their heads a shake. Google, Facebook, everyone. There's no doubt, and I don't think anyone can argue that there's a massive left-leaning bias for all the media companies. It is what it is. It always was that way, generally speaking, but now it's really in the face of the public. It is what it is. It's a very, very left-leaning media that's out there, whether it's online or offline.
Yeah.
And I think
I
there
mean,
needs there, there needs to be a much greater balance when reporting. I was going to say when reporting news, but we don't even get the news anymore. What we get is commentary from talking heads from supposed news outlets, claiming to be reporting on the news, and they're not. They're just reporting on commentary all day long. And man, I miss the old days of sitting in front of the TV with my mom and dad, brothers, and watching the good old news, where we actually watched, hey, look what's going on here or there or here, and you had stories to talk about. So I don't know.
yeah. The one interesting thing, and we'll leave it maybe with something a little more on the fun side.
Good.
Just from the betting odds of the election, I
Yeah.
thought was pretty funny. Obviously, before the election started, on Monday, Trump was a 2.5 to 1 like underdog, and then later that night he's plus 5.5 or something crazy. And now, obviously, going forward, then you wake up on Wednesday and you go, oh, wow, he's again, basically a 2.5 or 3 to 1 underdog.
Yeah.
Now it's looking like he's a 5 to 1 underdog. So it's
Yeah.
just interesting to follow the betting, the whole, oh my god, he's doing great, oh no, oh my god, he's doing great, oh no, right?
Yeah.
So pretty funny. Obviously interesting. You saw a lot of people throwing money around, which hey, there's gonna be some big winners, some big losers. But it was interesting.